I have felt like I need to protect this group that we've created on Facebook. It's a group of about 700 of us conservative therapists and social workers, just anybody who works really in the mental health field. And we decided that um, we needed a place where people can come to for refuge because they were getting so viciously attacked in the other therapist groups on Facebook. And I was actually one of the ones that was also saved by another member in the group prior to me becoming an admin of this group. And the way that I was saved was somebody at some group said something about there is absolutely no way you can be a Trump supporter and be a therapist. And I will tell you why, and I will list the facts and the reasons why it's impossible and it's ethically wrong and morally incorrect for you to vote for Trump and be a therapist. So I read the whole thing because I was a Trump supporter. I voted for him twice. And I really wanted to understand from their point of view why they hated me. And basically it was because that I was a racist and I was a woman hater and that I was a bigot and that I was a xenophobe and the reasons why was because this is what Trump said. So if you support him, then you're also this. And I'm looking at myself going, I'm a Middle Eastern. I live in California. I'm a female. I have plenty of gay friends. None of this fits me. But yes, I still supported Trump in the elections. So I vocalized that and I said, thank you for calling me all these horrible names. I am someone who supported him. You have literally just made me feel like crap because of all the things that you just said. Luckily, it doesn't affect my ability to move on and continue as a therapist, but you have to be careful in all these things you guys say about us because they're just untrue. They're not correct. And because I put myself out there in that way, then I got even more attacked. And I remember that feeling of being so attacked that I was like, God, if I was someone who is afraid of confrontation, if I was someone who tends to be more shy and more anxious and more timid, I couldn't imagine coming out of this on the other side whole and complete. Thank God I'm not those things. I'm not afraid of confrontation. I'm definitely not shy. I'm very vocal about my opinions. So it didn't affect me, but I just knew right then. I was like, I see why so many people have not spoken up. This is an attack like no other. And so someone came to my rescue and said, hey, there's a group for you. Come on over. It had just started out. I think it was just 3 months. And my interaction with them was great. And then immediately I was asked, hey, could you come on and be an admin with us? Sure. And ever since I took on that admin role, I took it as me protecting this group, as me protecting the people in this group. Because once we leave that group and we're in the outside world with the progressive therapists, we are so susceptible to hurt and pain and destruction by them. They have tried so many times to get into our group, and they've been succeeding, where they pretend they're conservatives and have all the conservative talk, take names down, and then go and call our boards, call our employers, and get us fired. We have a handful of people who are in litigation right now because of this. We have had a handful of people get fired from their jobs because of this. That's why our group is very secret and shut down. I have to personally invite you to the group because they're just vicious. They want us out of the arena completely. It's sad. It's unbelievable to me that they would do that.
I knew it was bad. I'm I don't I'm maybe a little surprised even to hear this. I was in the Facebook group. I don't mind naming it, Therapists in Private Practice, the
Mm-hmm.
largest that I'm aware of, the largest
Terrible.
Facebook group for therapists in the United States. Largely people based in California who, by the way, I often noticed wrote as if everyone in the world is in California.
Yes. Oh
I
my gosh,
noticed, I'm
yes.
like, do you think like this is a nationwide group? Um,
Yep.
but they yeah, the largest Facebook group for therapists in the country, and it was so toxic. And
Yeah.
I witnessed this bullying and dogpiling and vitriol. And unlike you, I didn't end up in that Facebook group that you're in. I ended up just not spending any more time on Facebook at that point, and that's when I joined Twitter. um, but um, but I understand the feeling of feeling like there's like a persecution going on, and
Yes.
that rescuer impulse and those feelings of victimization and the dynamics that you describe. I mean, from sort of a classic cognitive behavioral therapy lens, we can already spot several thought distortions. The black and white thinking, labeling, overgeneralization, jumping to conclusions, putting people in categories in this very tribal way that if you vote for candidate X, that means that you endorse every single thing they say and that you have our narrative and our way of interpreting the things that they say and the things that they mean by that, rather than understanding the nuance of the situation, which is, I think the average person feels like most political candidates don't really speak for them, but that you're kind of choosing between the lesser of evils because of the things that matter the most to you, and you have to make values based decisions. It really frightens me that there are so many people who are in a position of caring for mental health of others who would be so quick to encourage this sort of distorted behavior, jumping to conclusions. And I wonder about the implications for relationships. You and I are both LMFTs. We're licensed marriage and family therapists. We're trained to think in terms of systems and relationships. And we understand the importance of relationships for mental health, that they are both the number one and number two biggest determiners of lifespan, for example. I don't know if you know what
Mm,
I'm talking about with that
yes.
study that looked at all these different factors that influenced a person's longevity. And they found that the top two factors were both about relationships. So one was, do you have a few people, even one person you could call on in the middle of the night, or if your life depended on it? Do you have that 3 a.m. friend? And then the other being, do you chat with the barista? Do you smile at the grocery clerk? Do you feel like you belong to a community of people around you where you have everyday simple small talk interactions that feel kind and pleasant? Because those things actually increase your lifespan. That's how important relationships are.